Hello and welcome. It's your boy BioBlame back at it again with another review type video. I think this is just going to be the standard now for the channel when I do these kind of videos over because I've kind of run out of things to discuss, if I'm honest with you. I'm not really one for talking about, like, I don't know, recent news, you know, like the stuff with Helldivers 2. I don't care. There's so many people talk about that. I don't care. So, but today we are talking about a game I definitely don't care about, but for some reason decided to play all the way through to the end. And that game is Kart Kings. Now we have our very first technically kart racing game review for the channel. Which is, I didn't think it was going to be this game. Let me put it this way. I was thinking that I was going to try this game, and then I was going to play it for all of about an hour, maybe, and then be like, yeah, I'm never touching this game again. And unfortunately, no, that's not what happened. Instead, I got really annoyed with the game, and I was like, yeah, I'm going to beat this. I'm going to make sure I beat this, no matter what. And now, here we are in this video with me having played through the entire game, the racing festival mode that is at least. Yeah. It's terrible. It's horrible. It's might as well be torture. What I put in the title of this video is an accurate summary of this game. Playing this game is torture. It is 100% torture. And I don't mean any offense against anybody who may have nostalgic connections to this game from their childhood, because this, you know, I've talked about this game before in a bigger video, that well, not bigger video, but I covered more games that are similar to this, in the sense that Kart Kings is basically like an exclusive game that came out in India, right? And it wasn't the only one that came out like that. There was a game company called Game Shastra. I'm going to butcher the name for this. Game Shastra Inc. And they made a bunch of different games that came out exclusively in India. The Dawn 2, obviously Kart Kings. What else have we got from them? Pretty sure they did other games as well. Desi Ada Games of India. You know, just to give it a few examples there. They weren't the only one. Apparently there was some kind of initiative that Sony was trying to do back then. Keep in mind, these were very late release PlayStation 2 games, and they are also iOS games as well. Which is no surprise from me, at least. Interesting, though, looking at the game list, I don't see Kart Kings being on iOS or Android. Unlike the Dawn 2, for example, which is interesting. The fact that the Dawn 2 even got released is crazy enough. Do you know when the Dawn 2 came out? February 2013 for the PlayStation 2. That's crazy. That's crazy. Now this game, Kart Kings, came out in 2011 for the PlayStation 2. And like I said, it was only released in Asia. I think may not be exclusively India, but it got released only in Asia. Luckily, the game is available in both, I believe, Hindi and English, so I was able to play through the majestic Kart Kings video game. And like I said, I did a video back in the day which covered a bunch of Indian games, like Changarupta, Warrior Prince, which also came out on the PlayStation 2. I think there's another one where you play as like some kind of monkey kid. I can't remember its name. But that game was just, that video was just completely slaughtered by, I guess, the Indian community that just hated my opinions on the games immensely. So one of the things I wanted to do, the Street Cricket Champions was another game in that video. So one of the things I wanted to do was go back and try some of these games. So as I'm going through in like kind of alphabetical order, kind of not through like the PlayStation 2 library, I thought I'd have a look at that. You know, same with Simple Series. That's why Buccaneer was the first one. So, funny enough, the very first game to pop up would be Kart Kings for PlayStation 2 games of India, as you could say. I think that was like the original title of my video. that I released. That's private now, the video. I privatized it because of the amount of hate I got in it. I was like, God, I'm getting sick and tired of removing comments on this video. I'm just gonna privatize the video. So I want to like emphasize straight away. If you have nostalgia for this game and you loved this game as a kid, fair enough, but I feel sorry for you. I feel sorry that your father, mother, Papa G, whatever, didn't buy you like Burnout 3 Takedown or, I don't know, Crash Nitro Kart. Anything else, literally anything else besides this game. I'm dead serious. I'm not just dead serious. I'm dead fucking serious, right? The fact that your parents bought you this game, I feel sorry for you. I feel absolute sorry for you. I'm sympathetic. But you have to understand, just because you have those rose-tinted glasses doesn't stop this game from being a heap of fucking shit. So let's get into it. That's finally enough of me ranting on for the first 6 fucking minutes. Let's get into the reasons why and kind of how this game is. So the game has a kind of campaign, tournament mode, whatever you want to call it. It's something. It's different than most racing games. It's basically go and win this one track, just keep winning these tracks again and again until you beat them all. And that's the racing festival mode. So that's the main mode I played and played through to the end. There is, I believe, bear with me, I've got it written down. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There's 12. There's 12 tracks in the game. 12 tracks that you can play on, and you start with Sunshine Cape, and you finish with Cush Mountain. I've got a lot to say about each individual track, some more than others, but we'll get into that. I'm just going through the modes to start off with. There's also a multiplayer mode that you can play, I guess, with friends. There's also, I didn't play any of that because, again, who would want to play this with me? There's a time attack mode. Did play a little bit of that. The time attack mode's okay. It's fine. It's literally just pick a track. I tried the time attack mode after I finished the game, so who knows if all the tracks are available from the get-go. By the way, only one track is available from the get-go. I'm going to try and put my save file on GameFAQs if people want to play and just play some of the tracks themselves. I am going to try and do that. So I don't have... Well, I'm probably going to have to create a new GameFAQs account. But yeah, I'll put my save file on there, hopefully, so that people can play. So you only have one track unlocked from the get-go, so I don't know with time attack if there's anything like, with that. But it's basically just a normal time attack mode. You have X amount of time to get through checkpoints, which is a little bit different, I guess, on each track, but it's easy enough. You're not exactly fighting anyone, which is a problem in itself, but we'll get into that. And then there's a Bash On mode. Bash On mode, besides it having a very weird naming, is a mode where you go and collect monkeys to get points. And if you get a set amount of points, you unlock comics. Now, because of how horrendous this game controls, I couldn't unlock any of the comics, so I used my trusty friend called Cheat Engine to basically hack my points so I would unlock all the comics, just because I was curious more than anything. I was just curious to see what the comics were like, because basically the characters featured in this game are based off like a comic strips, like comic characters in India, I believe. I think they're called Twinkle characters, if I remember correctly. Don't quote me on that. It's just one thing I looked up once. I don't do really any research when I do these videos because I just don't care. I guess the crazy thing is that Game Shastra still has a YouTube channel, and there's a launch trailer and a launch presentation for this game, and it is one of the funniest fucking things I've seen in a while. It is literally, oh my god. I'll try and put a link to it in the description. It's funny as fuck, seriously. It just reeks of budget cringe is probably the best way for me to put it. And I mean that in the nicest way possible. Like, I get it, this game probably had a very low budget, but the publisher is Sony. You would have thought Sony would have given a bit more money to, like, here you go, make your own games. And now, by the way, this, you know, Changarupta, Warrior Prince, from what I remember, again, it's a long time ago, was somewhat okay. The boy game was somewhat okay. Street Cricket Champions, even though boring, was fine. It was functional. This game is by far the worst one. 100%. 100 fucking percent the worst one. So yeah, the comics are available, and they're very, very kind of like pixelated, as you could say. So you can read them. They're in English, and you can read them, but you struggle with some of the panels to be able to read them properly. But they're like the kind of strict cartoon. The layout of the comic strips are basically in the same format as like Garfield. So it goes to, it has like one panel, and then second panel, and then it moves on, and then it goes like in a horizontal, vertical, whatever. It goes along in a line, basically. And I'm guessing each of those two panels would have been in a single magazine, so you had to follow along each week or each day or whatever, however long it took to get these comics out. So, and there's quite a few of them. It's not just one comic. You have a few of them in there. And there's ones based around, trying to remember now. One based around the Hunter. I don't remember his name. There's the one based around the weird, creepy Herbert from Family Guy looking character. Super G, I think his name is. And there's one based around some kind of guy, one of the guys that's got like a, I don't know, blue dress on. I don't know, right? I don't know all of their names, right? I don't know all of their names. I don't remember all of them. Because mainly I played as a character called Papa G for pretty much the entirety of the game, for the most part. So, because I like Papa G, okay? He has sunglasses and a turban. He's cool. He's a cool dude. So yeah, so that's the bash on mode. There is like achievements that you can get in the game, even though like pointless. But I guess game did come out in 2011, so achievements were starting to crop their head from looking at Microsoft with the 360 and Sony with the PlayStation 3, because those systems were out when this game came out. I'd like to remind you of that. They've been out for a fucking while. I don't know. I know. Okay, it's India. It's again, probably they didn't get the PlayStation 3 till quite later. I don't know, something like that. Look at Brazil. They were making football. They were making like FIFA games. FIFA 14 was on the PlayStation 2. I'm pretty sure, specifically because of countries like Brazil. So, I get it. It's fine. But you would have seen me playing the game, right? The footage you're seeing right now, and you're probably thinking this looks like fucking shit, because it is. Because it is. I can't help but keep shitting on the game, because now I'm finally done with the game. I'm just like, I just want to shit on it and shit on it and shit on it. I was shitting on the game as I was playing through the game, and now I get the chance to completely vent my frustrations with the game via this video. So we've talked about the time attack, we talked about the bash on mode, we talked about achievements. There's treasures that you can get, which are basically like PNGs in this like show trophy case. I didn't get them all because they require you to play other modes or do specific tasks. I don't care enough. Fuck off. So let's now move on to the very specific, and I'm gonna talk about this in parts. The controls. The game controls like ass. It controls like hot, wet ass. It baffles me how play this game and you'll understand what it's like to not develop a kart racer. How to not develop a kart racer ever, at all. Like, I would love to know the thoughts the playtesters had, if this game even had playtesters, if I'm honest with you. I would love to know the thoughts that went through their heads when they were playing this. Yeah, this is good. This is very good. Yes, very good. Yeah, no, fucking no. This is shit. This is dog shit. So, when you start a race, you have to press tap the X button to kind of build up speed, because you are basically a dude in a cart with a bull of some kind, right? And you can customize them. There's characters you can unlock, there's carts you can unlock, and there's bulls you can unlock. And one good feature of the game is that you can customize whatever you like. You can have Papa G, for example, the character with the cart that's got a goddamn spoiler on it, which is funny. With I don't know, a bloody moo cow goddamn bull thing or whatever, right? Prince the Bull, which is, I don't know if that's the best one in the game. I don't know. I'm going to get into things about that as well. So I like that feature of the game, that you can customize your cart and that. But what I don't like is the controls, because they're horrible. So, like I said, the pressing the X button, when you start a race, kind of gets you up to speed, which is fine, interesting mechanic, but once you've got up to speed, you just hold down the X button to go. The square button breaks. As far as I'm aware, the triangle and circle button doesn't really fucking do anything. The R1 button uses power-ups, and there you go, that's pretty much all the controls, besides using the analog stick to turn. Because the other controls don't really do fucking anything. Right, and if you work on the basis that maybe this was meant to be an iOS game originally, it makes sense. The problem stems from the fact that the turning is horrendous, the brake is horrendous, you feel like your character's lagging when you brake, and the power-ups are fucking annoying. There are good power-ups and there are bad power-ups. It's not like Mario Kart, where every power-up has a purpose and a time and a good time to use it. A lot of people shit on the fucking banana because the banana peel, but banana peel placed in the right area in Mario Kart can cause a lot of damage. Put it right before a ramp can cause a lot of damage. These power-ups, on the other hand, are stinky. And it is not just the fact that one of the power-ups is a garlic. It's literally a clove of garlic, and you drop it and it creates a big fart cloud. Right? It's not just that. It's the fact that not all power-ups are the same, and the power-ups are kind of randomly spread across the tracks. They're just in random locations. There's no thought put into, maybe we should put this power-up here and this power-up there. There's no thought, literally no thought put into that whatsoever, at least from what I can tell. They put power-ups wherever they fucking like, and they put whatever power-up they like at that location. And you'll have power-ups which are projectiles. Keep in mind, you have to be close enough to the person in front of you for it to lock onto them and throw the power-up. There's no homing power-ups or anything like that. If you're in 6th place and really far behind, you've got to struggle to try and catch up with them and then throw it ahead. I believe there is a kind of slipstream in this game, I think. But I don't know, because I never really noticed. I mainly saw the CPU, the computers, kind of just out of nowhere boost ahead of me. And you may think to yourself, probably because there's a boost power-up. Yes, there is. There is a boost power-up. It's in the shape of a sneaker, or a trainer, or whatever you want to call them. But when you've played a track again and again, because you keep failing the track, you got to come first, by the way, I guess not to progress, because you can come second, but I was determined to come first on every track. When you've played a track long enough and you know where the sneakers are, where you know specifically where they are, and you see a character boost past you, and you know for a fact there's no sneakers anywhere near where this character is now boosted past me, and you could argue he could have kept hold of it. The computers don't do that. They use them almost instantly, the power-ups, when they get the power-ups, and they'll wait until they got a target and then they'll throw them. But if they get kind of the one that gets dropped behind, they'll use it pretty much instantly. Pretty much within reason. So when you can see a character boost past you and you're like, there's no sneaker power-up, there's no rocket power-up, there's no, soda can power-up. Those are the ones that give you a boost. How the fuck did you get past me? Makes you think that there must be kind of a slipstream mechanic. Or maybe, this is another theory of mine. Again, I don't have the manual to consult, and it's not like I'm going to be able to find a fucking manual online, is it? Maybe each of the bulls, carts, and people you play as have stats assigned to them, even though you can't fucking see those stats. Which one is it, game? Which one is it? Is there a slipstream mechanic? Or is it you just think the CPU should fuck me up the ass and just overtake me whenever they fucking feel like it, right? Because the CPU is another one. The CPU, right, don't break like you. They kind of fucking jerk around the track or jerk around corners sometimes, and you're like, how the fuck are you moving around that corner like that? Literally, like an AI is well, there is an AI programming. But imagine if you saw like an AI racing, but they were like, they didn't follow normal rules, and they just like, oh, I'm just gonna jerk here, jerk there, jerk there. Like going around a corner in a fucking hexagon fucking shape. You think, what the fuck? I can't do that, why can you? You have that kind of mentality, so you're like, what the fuck? Oh dear. So yeah, the braking is shit. The racing is shit. You go right. By the way, you can also hit things. There's obstacles in the tracks, and if you hit them, you'll lose momentum, and you have to then mash the X button again to get the momentum back up, which is really annoying, right? Really, really annoying, because you can basically lose a race massively just from that. Like I said, the power-ups range from boosts to projectiles you can throw at enemies, to basically like bananas, like things you can place around the track. There's only one power-up which will permanently stay on the track, which is like, it picks up this like hay. It looks like hay, and it drops like a turd on the ground. I don't know, stable? I'm trying to think of what reference would that be exactly. You have you can have like a music box which drops, and it plays music, and if you get caught by it, you start dancing and you slow down to a nothing. And you have to wait until you stop dancing to continue racing again and build speed up again. The fart cloud is, I've already explained, it's another one where you hit the fart cloud and you're like, ugh, and you stop for a short period. Now, when it comes to boost power-ups, the rocket is the best. The rocket is basically the bullet bill of the game. And if you see the rocket, you will target it every fucking time. The soda can basically gives you wings. If it's a reference to Red Bull, that's fucking funny. But obviously Red Bull is not going to be in the game, giving you wings. But basically you go up into the air, and yeah, you're immune to power-ups hitting you, like projectiles hitting you during that time. But it's horrendous. If you have to time when you use that soda can power up, because if you don't use it at the right time, your character, you can't turn very well in the game to begin with. So imagine when your turning is reduced even fucking further because of this fucking soda can power up. So if you use it where there's a lot of sharp bends, which there is some very sharp bends in some tracks in this game, you're fucked. You're basically going to go flying into the fucking wall, and your character's going to be stuck gyrating against the wall until the power-up ends, and everyone then is then ahead of you. So, useless power-up in my opinion. Or if you get it, you have to wait and save it until it's not like you can drop the power-up. It's not like you can pick up a power-up and be like, I don't want this power-up. Can I just drop it and not use it? No, you can't fucking do that. You have to use it unless one of the opponent's projectiles hits you, and then you will drop the power-up. Otherwise, no, you can't drop it. But then you don't want the enemy's projectiles to hit you, because then that's going to fuck you up. So realistically, when it comes to boost, the rocket is good, and the trainers / sneakers is good, because that just boosts you, and you can still brake and turn, even though it's fucking glitchy and weird as fuck when you try and brake around a corner when you're boosting. It's really weird. There is a shield power-up as well, and towards the end of the game, the CPUs are just, you feel like the CPUs are purposely targeting you. Yeah, okay, maybe it's because I'm in first place, but that's how you feel, so you're like, I'm going for the shield power-up every fucking time. And then obviously there's the projectiles. Most of the projectiles are just annoying, but there is one specific projectile which is cancerous. It is literally a fucking tumor, and it's the chili power-up. It looks like a pair of chilies, And if it hits you, it inverts your controls and completely sends your character in whatever direction you happen to be facing the last. So if you got hit by that while going around a corner, guess what? Your character's going to now try and turn, more than likely smash straight into a fucking wall, and now you're stuck there. And guess what? It's a fucking annoying and a pain and very weird to try and get away from the... If your bull is facing a wall, you do have a reverse, but the reverse is slow as fuck, so you don't ever use it. And that's holding down the square button until you're to a stop, and then your cart start again. You're in a fucking cart, mind you, a fucking bull-drawn cart starts moving backwards at fucking, I don't know, 2 miles every 5 years. So that you instead mash the X button like crazy while turning on the analog stick to try and get away from the wall. So the chili power-up is a death sentence in some cases. There's one particular track, it's called Tea Time, and if you get hit by the chili power-up at a very specific point where there's a bridge, you might as well just restart the fucking race, because guess what? You don't. When you fall off the bridge, there's a steep drop. There's quite a drop, and it's not like as soon as you're off the bridge, it just resets you. Nope, you have to wait until your cart hits the fucking water, and then you refresh. Keep in mind, then you have to get your momentum up again. Keep in mind that you're now in 6th place, and everyone is 2 fucking 1,000 miles ahead of you. I was gonna say 2 miles, but 2 fucking 1,000 miles ahead of you. Good fun. Good fun. So yeah, the controls are horrendous. The power-ups are horrendous as well. In some, not all the time, but the placement of the power-ups makes them horrendous, 100%. Because you'll have one power-ups, you have a shield power-up in a good place, and then you'll have like an area where it's all just projectile power-ups, and you're like, oh great, I'm in first. I need an adult. You feel like that, like, oh, I'm gonna get fucked in the ass right now. Great, I just picked up a projectile power-up. No shield or nothing, can't do fuck all. Guess what? The other 3 power-ups that were behind me, because there was 4 in a row, being picked up by other people, they're all projectile power-ups. Guess who's getting fucked in the ass? Me! Hurrah! Fan-fucking-tastic! So, yeah. No, not a fan. Not a fan. Again, I played through this entire game. The fact I was able to play through this entire game. Again, short spouts of playing the game for about 20 minutes is what got me through it. Each day, 20 minutes each day is what got me through it. No more than that. Thank fucking fuck for save states. Let me put it that way. Booting up the game and having to go through all the bullshit that you normally have to do with booting up the game, when I can just boot the game up in PCSX2, press the F3, and boom, I'm ready to go. Let's go. Let's get in the race. Get us going. That saved me, or else if I couldn't do that, I would not have finished the game. Alright, now I'm going to move on to the topic of tracks. Specific tracks, right? Because I've got to talk about each of them. And that'll probably be the final thing I talk about. So let's start with the very first track. It's called Sunshine Cape. Absolutely fine. Absolutely fine. It is a basic track where you're basically going around in like an oval. Absolutely fine. No issue with it. Nothing whatsoever. No complaints. But then we move on to Misty Mountain. Misty Mountain's okay. Has a few little like alternate tracks things, alternate paths you can take. You don't have to always take the same path. Watch out for the trains though, because they're really annoying. But it's all about timing. If you happen to you're just racing along and they happen to go past you, you just fucking dodge to the best of your ability. You don't want to brake if you can help it on a straight. Let me just put it that way. So Misty Mountains is not that bad. I got through, I think it took me like I think I got through Sunshine Cape on the first try. Got through Misty Mountains on like the 2nd try or 3rd try, so it's not too bad. Then we get to the 3rd track. And there's 3 tracks in this game that are fucking horrendous. Mainly because of track design. Now, Sunshine Cape and Misty Mountains have quite wide tracks, which is what you need. The turning is shit. The braking is shit. You need to have wide tracks with big areas that you can drive in. Guess what? Tortoise Island went, fuck you. You know what we're going to do? We're going to put these tortoises everywhere. Are going to be in your way. We're going to have all these jumps, by the way, because hitting a ramp and going off a jump between bridges, wonky as fuck, because again, the turning is fucked in this game. The turning is, I want to reiterate, the turning is fucked in this fucking game, right? Then there's all these random grass patches. And guess what? You go into these random grass patches that are in the center of the fucking track, mind you. It slows you down. It's horrendous, Tortoise Island. I hated it. The power-up placement is shit. The little ramps with the jumps, shit. The tortoises get in the way, shit. The general track design, absolute fucking shit, right? If you've seen any footage, which is me driving on a beach in this video, because I'm probably just put random footage here and there, that's Tortoise Island. That's Tortoise Island. If you see tortoises in the footage with the fucking beach, that is Tortoise Island, and it's fucking horrendous. So then there's Twin City. Twin City's fine. I had no issues with Twin City. Again, Tortoise Island, it took me, I don't know, 6, 7, 8 attempts. May not seem like much, but definitely feels like much. Wait until we get to the other two tracks. We may move into the double digits then. Then we have Twin City, which absolutely fine. I think I beat it on the first try. No issues whatsoever with that. Then we had Bollywood. Bollywood was another one I beat in the first try. Keep in mind, my skill level with this game went up quite significantly because of Tortoise Island. Then we have Red Soil. Red Soil, another one, fine, but I think I lost maybe like once on that track, so I had to do it again. Then we have Capital Ground, another track that's absolutely fine. Even though there's some really annoying track design in Capital Ground, I managed to get through it without too much trouble in the first try. Then we get to the worst fucking track in the game. And I shit you not, I only got through it through sheer luck of having a perfect fucking run, right? I might even go so far to put videos on Biotechs showing perfect runs of these tracks to show how fucking difficult it is. So each one of these tracks, I might just put gameplay footage of a perfect run of getting through and getting first for each of these, just to kind of give you an idea. I'm also planning to put the OST on Biotechs as well. I had to record that in game because I couldn't extract it through any other way. There's no sound test mode or anything like that, similar to what I had to do with Buccaneer, unfortunately. So yeah, mainly because it isn't on YouTube. So. But Dusty Desert is the worst track in the game. The track design is so fucking horrendous. It's unreal. The power-up placement is so horrendous, it's unreal. Let's put a fucking row of projectile power-ups with no fucking shield towards the end of the fucking track, where the checkered line is, right? Let's put that right at the end of the fucking track. So you could be in first and basically get absolutely rear-ended, shafted right before winning because you got, luckily, like I said, the shield power-up a little bit behind. I think if I remember correctly with Dusty Desert, because it was a little while ago, a couple of days ago, and my memory's fuzzy because of Dusty Desert. Easily, Dusty Desert took me probably 15 to 20 attempts. I'm not too sure how many exactly, but probably around that amount to beat the track. And it was only because of a perfect run that I managed to beat it. But I think I managed to keep a shield power up for a long while, and I was in first for a while. I was just literally perfect run. And it was only because I had that shield power up right at the end that I was able to just ignore the power ups the projectiles they threw at me and win the race. And it's funny because straight from Dusty Desert we then move on to Tigerland, which is another track which is easy, and I beat first time. What? What is this? What is these skills? What is these skills issue? Then we have Tea Time, the third worst track of the entire fucking game. Tea Time is horrendous, specifically because of, not because of the turnings. The turnings aren't an issue in this game. I actually will say there's one turn that's an issue, and that's when you're coming up to the bridge. That is the only one, because it is quite literally, might as well be a sharp right turn that you've got to make. And guess what? The bridge, you can, if you time that sharp turn poorly, you're going off the bridge. And guess what? Steep drop, isn't it? Into that water. Yes, lovely. Ho, love it. So yeah, that bridge is the biggest obstacle, really. But then the power-up placement is horrible, absolutely horrible. and just the track design does not. You have very thin track. Keep in mind, you need to have big, wide tracks with this shit turning and shit acceleration, because the acceleration is also a problem because you sometimes will go too fast. So yeah, tea time, absolutely horrendous. How many times did it take me to do tea time? I don't think it took me as long as Dusty Desert. Again, that's the reason why Dusty Desert is the worst. I think tea time was still in the double digits, probably looking at between 10 to 15 times for tea time. And then we get to Queen Hills, the second to last track. Queen Hills. Beat it first time, no issues. Track design was fine. Actually fine. There's no like stupid turns or anything like that. So I honestly do think to myself, with the track design in this game, what the fuck were they smoking? There is probably one part of Queen Hills which is a little bit annoying with a series of jumps, but I guess if you were in third or fourth or so people were close on your tail when you got to that series of jumps, that would fuck your entire run probably of the track. But luckily, because of my skill set for this game being fucking op since bloody Dusty Desert and Tea Time, I basically went in first and stayed in first and got quite far ahead where I don't think their power-ups could hit me on Queen Hills, luckily. So I beat it first time. Then we have the final track of the game, Kush Mountain. Why is it called Kush Mountain? I thought a weed. Maybe there's a mountain in India called Kush, the Kush Mountain. I don't know. But Kush Mountain is the only track in the game which doesn't have laps. It's literally a straight shot from A to B, basically. And in its own right, it is the fourth worst track of the game. So you know, but it's not frustrating for the normal reasons. It's frustrating because, yes, some of the power-up placement is terrible, but there's plenty of shield power-ups. You time and get your shield power-ups when you need to get them, you'll be fine. The problem stems from the CPU speeding up for no fucking reason. The CPU out of nowhere, you'll be going down a straight. Keep in mind, this is why I think there's a slipstream mechanic. You'll be going down a straight, you're in first, you know for fact, right, that you're quite far ahead. And then suddenly one fucking retard somehow soups past you. And you're like, how did you soup past me? How did you just go straight past me? The only area that has a boost power-up, which is a sneaker, by the way, a trainer, is right at the beginning of the race. Right at the beginning where the checker mark is. This straight I'm talking about is a straight which is after a jump and there's a hole in the track you got to dodge, right? So it's right in the middle of the fucking track. There's no way you're telling me he grabbed the trainer power-up and kept it to that point. I fucking shit you not, it is impossible. He would have even been hit by a projectile, or he would have just used it. So how the fuck did he zoop past ahead of me? I don't honestly know. But that is the biggest fault that Kush Mountain has, because they'll just go so far ahead of you and it's impossible to catch up. The only reason I beat Kush Mountain was a perfect run. That was the only reason. I literally managed to score a perfect run. There was a few instances where I almost fucking bit the bullet and messed up, but luckily didn't. And I managed to beat it. But I guarantee you, whoever was in second was right on my fucking ass. Right on my ass. So yeah. So let's wrap this up, because I think I've gone on long enough talking about fucking Kart Kings, if I'm honest with you. I hate this game. I hate it. I'm sorry. I have to say, I hate this game. I played through this game through spite. I wanted to beat it. I was like, I'm gonna beat this fucking game no matter fucking what. And I did. And in hindsight, was it worth me beating it? No, it was not. And it's not worth playing for so many reasons. It's not worth playing for the track design is terrible. The actual controls are fucking terrible. The turning, the braking, the acceleration is even horrendous. The only positive is the customization between the characters, which, as far as I'm aware, again, I don't know if... I think doesn't make any fucking difference. I personally do believe that there's a slipstream mechanic in the game, and I'll fucking keep saying that. The bash on mode is pointless. It really serves no purpose whatsoever. The time attack mode is basic. It's just there, obviously. And yeah, okay, I think you can do bash on in multiplayer, where I guess you fight your friend to see how many points you can get from collecting PNG monkeys. But overall, there is no fucking reason you should ever play this game. No fucking reason. I will have to put my hand in the air and honestly say, do not ever play this game. Do not ever try this game. This game is fucking horrendous. Never play this game. I've been Bio. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.